welcome to the section we're going to talk about badges now. And this also will be pretty straightforward, nothing too crazy going on here. But this link, if you click in Weekly Learning Week 6, PWA badging, it'll open up to the documentation on the badging API. So it allows installed web apps to set an application-wide badge on the app icon. So you can see this is what it looks like on Windows, that little number down there. And I already showed you an example with my app earlier. Obviously, if I close this one and I opened up my other one, and then it subtly notifies the user, that's kind of the purpose of them, that there might be some attention required to the app or a notification or something like that. It's more user-friendly than notifications, and it can be updated at a much higher frequency because it doesn't interrupt as much. It's just a little number down there. So sometimes your email will have those badges, so you don't see all your emails coming in, blocking this corner of your screen. Rather, it's just as a little number that updates in the bottom, depending on the settings you have. So examples of applications that might use it is a chat, email, social, productivity app with, to-do lists, games. If it's your turn in chess, there's some examples. So let's see. Oh, this is just saying the status of building the badging API. So to actually use it, you need Chrome 81 or later on Windows or Mac. So you can try this on Mac. You can go to the badging.api.glitch.me and you can install this right here, okay? So you can just hit install and it should be this little fish icon down in the bottom. So the badge value here, I can set it to whatever number I want. If I click, 34 and I hit set, we can see there's a little 34 over the fish now in the bottom. Clear it and that number gets cleared. You can increment the badge value by opening another window to this page or clicking the make XHR. So if I just click this, that's 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Clear it again. Okay, so that's a little example there for you. You can just go to that site and try it in Mac on Chrome and see if it works for you. You can also try it on your phone if you download it to your phone. When prompted, you have to install it and then go through the set clear buttons I just showed you. So how do we use it? Well, there's a couple methods we need to call on our navigator. And remember, our navigator is what we used in our main.js. So it'll be in our main.js. So in JS, main.js, we can see here we called our navigator.serviceworker.register. And it's going to be another method called on our navigator object. So the first method we use is the set app badge, and then you give it a number. Obviously, this can be a variable and it can be dynamic and change, or you can hard code it to a set number. This will set the badge and if a value is provided to that value. Otherwise, it'll display a white dot or a flag, depending on the platform, and set the number to 0. Setting the number to 0 is the same as calling the next method that's available to us, clear app badge, which will remove the app badge. Both return empty promises that you can use for error handling. So here's the code here that we're going to implement into our main.js. You can just copy this. It's at web.dev/badging-api. And the first one sets the badge to 24. We call navigator.setAppBadge. And you can catch an error here, and then you can print the error to the console. And then if you want to clear the badge, obviously .catch the error as well. But we're using that .clearAppBadge or the .setAppBadge. In some cases, the operating system doesn't allow exact representation of the badge, so a browser will try, but obviously you can see in Chrome, my browser's not doing it. Some browsers, depending on your operating system, will, and Android will only show a dot instead of a numeric value because of that update they changed, and they call them dots now. But still, it allows the user to see a slight notification that something is requiring their attention. And then some people want these huge numbers. It will just rewrite it as 99 plus, depending on the platform. And if you saturate it too high, sometimes the plus won't even appear. Cool. Let's see. Is there anything else? Chrome team is investigating ways to more reliably update the badge in the background. So they're still working on that feature, but it does work. they're still just updating it. You can file bugs here, and then yeah, let's get into it. So that code will go to our main.js, and we'll start working away. So I'm going to actually create a variable here, var, and I'm just going to call it unread count. You can call it notifications. You can call it whatever you want. And I'm just going to make it a variable so this way it'll actually be something I can dynamically change or iterate or put in a loop other than just using the number. So now that that variable is declared, what I'm going to do is after my service worker is registered here, I'm going to create a new method and it's going to set the badge. Okay, so we're going to call, like they said, navigator.setAppBadge, like that. And then here's where we pass it the number. And my number is going to be the variable unread count because that's what I want to use dynamically. I'm going to catch the error like they suggested. And then in my error catching, we're going to put that in this function, do something with the error. Obviously, we'll just do console.log our error. Semicolon at the end of that, semicolon at the end of this, and there's your navigator.setAppBadge. Pretty simple, okay? You just call that method. Now, when our notification is clicked inside of display notification, we can iterate our app badge, okay? So let's come down here, and if the notification permission is granted, and if our service worker has registered and it's showing the notification, then what we want to do, and this might not work because my notifications are kind of broken right now, but you can try this on yours, is we can take our variable and just do a plus plus, all right? Which is just going to iterate it. It's just going to add 1. So unread count plus plus, and then after that method, but still inside of the display notification method, I'm going to call my navigator.setAppBadge. Now this isn't amazing programming because obviously if I'm typing the same thing, then I could probably just make a function and call that function dot catch, and we're going to pass the error into this anonymous function, do something with the error. I'll scroll down so you guys can see, and obviously we'll just do a console.log of our error, right? And then we'll end that with a semicolon and this with a semicolon, and then that's the end of our display notification function. Now, this code, lines 38 to 41, and this code, lines 13 to 16, are literally the exact same. So what I can do is I can just copy this. I can make a new function, call it set app badge func, right? I'm going to pass it nothing. And then in here, we'll just call that code. All right. Now, I guess we could pass it the unread count, but the unread count variable, but because it's a global variable, which is probably also not great programming, then it'll be able to see it globally anyways. And then from here, I can literally just call my set app badge func method, right? That should work. And we can also do it here. Set app badge func. Should be able to comment that out. So now every time this runs, it's just calling this code, which is the same code that we had anyways. All right, so let's give that a shot. I'll close my server here and I'll hit go live. And we're gonna have to open it. And I've found in the past when working with these that you have to actually close them and then open them again in order to see the badges. So there you go. I can see the 24 is there, which is the number I set to my unread count at the top. And if I click this, 25, 26, 27, 28, 29, 30. right? So that's working and it's iterating, okay? So if we wanted to, we could also make this action, action one. I don't know if we can make the action actually take us to run a JavaScript function, but we can, sorry, I was going to say we can make another button that will clear that using the clear method. So did that work for everybody? Let's try making a clear method. So we can just go back here and we can take this code to clear the badge. I'll just make another function here. Function clear app badge func. And it will literally just clear the badge. And if I go to my index.html, if I make a second button on click, and I just call that function, clear badge, let's try it. I'll uninstall this, remove, and we will close the port and we'll rerun our live server. And obviously we can see our button hasn't loaded. And this is a bit of the annoying thing with that cache running, obviously having to clear it and delete everything. So I can just see obviously my index. If I scroll down to my index page, you know, when I go down to the button, my buttons aren't there. So if I just delete this local version and delete the main.js, because that's the other thing I edited, and we've got an error in our console, failed to register a service worker. So let's just refresh this and see if this goes away. Right? See if we've got our button. No button. Close that. Make sure we delete everything. Should be registering my service worker, which is kind of funny. Stop that. Unregister. Best. Index.html. There should be two buttons here, but there's obviously not two buttons here. It's just one button. So I'm hoping, refresh that. There's our second button. Okay, cool. So if I install this now, it's got the updated version of my code. I click this and my numbers are going up, 29, 30. Clear badge, they all go away. Test notification goes up to 32, 33, 34. Obviously, because my clear badge function doesn't reset it to 0, it just clears the badge. So I could add something inside of my set at badge function here that also sets unread count equal to 0, right? And then I would have to do that same process of uploading manifest.json, or making sure it's the same manifest.json file and deleting it in my cache. It's working on Mac. Hey, there we go. That's cool. Thanks, Armin. Good news. Did anyone else get it working? I will delete this. Actually, delete this too. That. OS. Chrome. They're working for you too. Cool. So for some reason, x.html, it should be showing there. I have always had issues with my storage, session storage, cache storage, application cache. Just delete all of these.
Sir, it's just not only incrementing, but it's showing the initial value that I set.
Oh, that's good. Okay, we'll try to get that incrementing working here. I'll stop the recording for now. because that's the code. Um, and everything's working on my end here. I'll just stop the recording so it's nice and concise for everyone.